It's about time you have an easier, more efficient way to get caught up on the news. The Newsworthy breaks down the day's top stories in less than 15 minutes and gives you some lighter conversation starters along the way. Search The Newsworthy wherever you're listening now and follow or subscribe to The Newsworthy today.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country. Anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
Every town has a story it can't quite explain. A house no one stays in. A stretch of road drivers avoid. A building that feels different after midnight. Or in this case, a stage that remembers its star. Today we're in Juneau at the Red Dog Saloon, where some say the music doesn't always stop when the doors close. This is CruiseTipsTV Unplugged, Alaska Lore and Legends. In this series, we explore the stories rooted in Alaska's ports, coastlines, and communities. Many of these stories come from tradition and oral history and may reflect differing perspectives. After midnight, Juneau feels suspended. The cruise ships are gone, the souvenir racks are rolled inside, Franklin Street shines under rain like a black ribbon pulled tight between mountains and sea. Most doors are locked, but one building feels less empty than the rest. Inside the Red Dog Saloon, the air still holds sound. Chairs inverted, glasses stacked, lights switched off. The piano sits closed. A staff member does one last sweep of the room. Satisfied, they reach for the door. Darkness, and then not a crash, not a random noise, 3 intentional keys. Spaced like someone testing a chord they already know by heart. Silence, no footsteps, no laughter, no breath. Now we don't have a verified recording of this moment, and no official report documents paranormal activity at the Red Dog. But this story is told, and when it is told, it ends with the same name, Professor Poon. Before the legend, there was a man. Professor Phineas Poon was a stage name of Tyler Dean Eckles, often known locally as Tag Eckles. Born May 24, 1950, and died July 26, 2009. Those dates appear in multiple published references, so he was not invented. He was a working entertainer, and he performed for decades at the Red Dog Saloon. Alaska Public Media confirmed his use of the Phineas Poon stage name and his deep association with the saloon's performance culture. But he did more than play the piano. He inducted performers into the room. When entertainer Billy Reynolds first arrived at the Red Dog, it was Tag who greeted him, Tag who folded him into the saloon's rhythm, and Tag who gave him his stage name, the Great Baldini. Tag didn't just perform, he assigned identity. He decided who belonged at the bench. In a room built on spectacle and participation, that kind of authority matters. Now imagine that presence, no longer visible, but still structurally embedded in the stage. The Red Dog's own public storytelling describes it this way. To the Red Dog Saloon came Phineas Poon in the summer of 71. By luck or disaster, the spell of Alaska was something he just couldn't shun. That phrasing appears in tribute language shared by the saloon. It reads like an origin myth. Summer of 71, Alaska casting a spell. The wording is poetic, not archival. But poetry carries power. Because if a place claims you, as the language suggests, then the relationship stops being transactional. It becomes binding. If that summer marked the beginning of decades at the piano, then the room learned him, his rhythm, his humor, his timing, and repetition creates imprint. Ghost tour operators in Juneau claim that Professor Phineas Poon's ashes remain above the bar at the Red Dog Saloon. The Red Dog itself has publicly referenced in tribute-style language that his ashes indeed rest in the bar. We can't independently verify the physical placement of cremated remains. No publicly accessible legal documentation confirms their exact location. But the story persists, and it's told with affection, not fear, and that distinction matters. This is not a story of a tormented spirit. It's a story of someone who stayed. If his ashes are indeed there, even symbolically, then he did not leave the room. He became part of its architecture. And once you know that, you cannot stand beneath that bar without glancing upward. There exists a live recording attributed to Phineas Poon, a souvenir CD recorded inside the Red Dog. You can hear the crowd. You can hear glasses clinking. You can hear laughter bouncing off wood beams. It's not paranormal evidence. It's documentation of a packed house alive with sound. But here is where the atmosphere tightens. Play that recording alone at night in a quiet room. The applause feels distant, not historical, immediate. When the track ends, silence feels wrong, as if something is missing, as if the room itself expects continuation. That's not haunting. This is absence amplified, but absence can feel like presence when it's strong enough. The stories that unsettle people are small. A piano bench slightly angled when no one remembers moving it, a glass shifted inches across polished wood, a stage light flickering when someone mentions his name. These accounts are repeated by tour guides and locals. They are not confirmed investigations. No formal paranormal study has verified them, but repetition breeds tension. The first time, it's a coincidence. The second time, it's a joke. The third time, no one laughs. Pianos respond to environment. Wood swells in moisture. Strings tighten in cold. Temperature shifts can produce sound. Science explains that. But here's what disturbs people. A chord is different from a vibration. A chord requires intention. There are stories, again folklore, not verified record, of a full chord sounding after closing. Not random, not chaotic, recognizable. If that story is true, it has not been documented publicly. But in retelling, the detail sharpens. It sounded correct. Correct is what people say. It sounded correct. And that word lingers. Correction implies ownership. And ownership implies authority. And Tag Eckles was the authority at the bench for decades. An obituary archive describes Tag Eckles as not only a Juneau piano player, but also associated with performance culture in Skagway, including the Soapy Smith Show. But we have to treat that source carefully. It aligns with dates and identity, but it exists in obituary-style documentation rather than academic archive. Still, the thematic link is powerful. Soapy Smith's legacy was built on spectacle and manipulation of belief. Tag's legacy was built on spectacle and command of a room. Different motives, same tool. Performance. Performance is suggestion. Suggestion shapes experience, and experience shapes memory. Winter strips away spectacle. No cruise ships, no crowds, no applause. The Red Dog in winter is exposed. The piano sits untouched. Silence deepens, and that's when stories feel closer. A bartender finishes late. They hear a throat clear near the stage, soft, intimate, not echoing, but close. They turn, nothing. There is no official report documenting this disembodied throat clearing, but the story exists, and in winter, imagination stretches longer than shadows. In ghost walk narratives, the claim isn't of running or slamming doors, it's subtler. A soft tread across stage boards, one measured step, sometimes two. Enough to imply weight shifting over old wood. There are no documented incident reports confirming phantom footsteps at the Red Dog. And buildings breathe. Floorboards contract. Nails settle. But human footsteps carry cadence. They have rhythm. And when a staff member locks up for the night and hears what sounds like someone crossing the stage behind them, the brain does not reach first for humidity levels. It reaches for identity. Who's there? Who shouldn't be? The stage is not neutral territory. It was his domain. To hear footsteps there after closing feels territorial, as if someone is still pacing the boards, rehearsing, preparing. New performers have described feelings of being evaluated, not attacked, not frightened, evaluated. Now, we don't have any named testimony, but we are describing a sensation repeated in storytelling circles. They describe it as feeling like someone is listening critically from the dark. But remember, Tag gave stage names. He decided who belonged. If his ashes truly remain above the bar, as saloon lore suggests, then symbolically, the gatekeeper never left. A new pianist sits down, they play, they feel it, eyes on their back. Not hostile, but measuring. There's a photograph from 2008. Tag Eckles at the Red Dog, packed house, hands midair over the keys, mouth open in song. You can see the ownership in his posture, comfort, and authority. A man fully merged with a room. If someone can command space that completely, it's not difficult to understand why the room might resist forgetting him. The most unsettling version of the story is not 3 scattered notes. It's a chord, intentional, balanced, complete, and when told, it comes with a detail. It wasn't angry, it was correcting, as if someone heard a wrong progression and intervened. But the word correction transforms coincidence into intention, and intention is what makes people step back from the stage after midnight. Buildings do not trap souls. Science does not support that. But psychology tells us spaces trigger memory. When enough people share the same memory, it feels external, not internal. The Red Dog performs ritual nightly in summer. Music, crowd, piano, repetition. When the central figure of that ritual dies, the ritual continues, but the absence vibrates. Sometimes haunting is not a ghost. Sometimes it's a vacancy too strong to ignore. It's closing time. Summer again, the crowd roaring, piano ringing, a new performer bows. Applause shakes the rafters, lights dim, doors lock. And in the dark, maybe the wood settles. Maybe the temperature shift tightens strings. Maybe nothing happens at all. Or maybe somewhere above the bar, a presence listens. Not vengeful, not violent, just unwilling to release ownership. Because some people do not leave the places they build, and rooms do not forget the people who filled them. So here are the facts. Tag Eckles was a real man, a documented performer. We have live recordings. He served as a mentor to other entertainers. And here's the folklore. Ashes above the bar, chords after closing, footsteps, evaluations from the shadows. What you believe is yours. But if you find yourself at Juneau and you step inside the Red Dog Saloon and you hear a note linger just a little longer than it should, you may choose explanation or you may choose story. Because sometimes the most enduring ghosts are not born of tragedy. They are born of loyalty. And loyalty can be harder to silence than fear. You've been listening to Cruise Tips TV Unplugged, Alaska Lore and Legends. These stories are shared for entertainment purposes and may reflect different historical interpretations, especially when tradition and oral history are involved. Until next time, we'll see you on the high seas.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/LIBSYN.